Thank you for joining us at Cadillac High School's auditorium for this 102nd District Republican debate. We are through 6 of our 8 questions. Question number 7, we will start with Ms. Hoytinga. In your opinion, what should be the ultimate goal of state government?
We have a United States Constitution and we have a Michigan Constitution. And our role should be to abide by our Constitution. We've gotten so far away from our Michigan Constitution. Again, there should be one bill, one subject per bill. We need to get back to that. We need to put government back in the hands of the local governments and the local entities, the local schools. Government's not the solution to our problems. They create problems. Our solutions are found in our schools, our communities, our churches especially. And it starts with our families. And we need to start, government needs to back off and let these entities thrive.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Hook, your thoughts on the ultimate goal of state government?
The first line in the Michigan Constitution says, all power, all political power is inherent in the people. And we are slowly getting away from that. A year and a half ago, when we had the vote on Proposal 1 on May of last year, the people voted down the governor's gas tax program 80-20. And then within about 4 months, that got slipped back into the legislature and got pushed through against the will of the people. Even though we had money in the budget, it was being argued that we had the money in the budget, but the governor and I believe the Senate did not want to listen to the will of the people. We definitely have to do that. The second thing is we have to allow our business community to grow and not think that the federal government or the state government can come in and tell them in every aspect of their life, every aspect of their business, how to run it. Government, the less government we have, the better. And I'm a big fan of that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Langworthy, your thoughts on the ultimate goal of state government?
Ultimate goal of state government is to be the conduit between local government and federal government. You know, without the state government, we wouldn't have anybody to plow the state roads, wouldn't have anybody to plow the federal highways and the funding that we get back from that. You know, the state government is literally what connects all of our communities, all of our local, political boundaries. We wouldn't be here this evening if it wasn't for a road system that's connected all of us. We're coming from Big Rapids, we're coming from Manton, we're coming from Leroy. You know, ultimately, the goal of state government is to be a higher level of government for local government. You know, there are a lot of laws that bind all of us that we couldn't manage locally.
Yeah, we could.
Thank you, sir. And Mr. Briscoe, what do you feel should be the ultimate goal of state government?
Well, the government's meant to serve us, not the other way around. And that's been getting a bit reversed lately. We saw it in Michigan, as stated, with the gas tax last year. That was historically defeated and passed through by the legislature 6 months later. Government's primary job at the most basic level is just to provide safety and security and protect our rights. But our rights are under constant assault these days. Our religious freedom, what we're watching with the Christian bakers being forced to choose between having a business, making a living, and what their religious freedoms are. With pharmacies that are now being forced to provide morning after pills, even though they believe it's abortion. They're being forced to help kill people against their religion. The Second Amendment is always under assault, and with all these recent shootings, it's going to be under even more assault. And they want to take that away with due process. Due process is a fundamental right we have here in America, and you can't take our rights without it. But Michigan's got a bad history with that, with CPS, civil asset forfeiture, and now the federal government's talking about it with the Second Amendment.
Thank you, sir. And now our final question, we will start with Mr. Hook. What do you feel your greatest achievement to date is, and why?
I believe my greatest achievement is coming from where I began. Like I said, my parents finished 6th grade and 8th grade. And I used my opportunity living in this country, the opportunities we had then, to earn my doctorate degree. For me, school, parts of it were not that easy. So personally, that was a great achievement. But career-wise, my greatest achievement really has been working with others, working with students, working with those that have disabilities, and any limitation on their learning. And working with them and helping them, giving them the opportunity to do more than they originally thought they could, helping those parents, helping those teachers, working with that curriculum. Helping others, I believe, has been my greatest achievement.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Langworthy.
I wouldn't say that I have any one greatest achievement other than the fact that I've been successfully married to the same person for the last 35 years and raised a son who's a viable member of the community. Other than that, as far as holding public office, I'd like to think that one of my greatest achievements was turning a dilapidated school district around and making it the cornerstone for this area with regards to good education. I'm referring to the Pine River School District when we removed a bunch of dilapidated outbuildings and built a new middle school. On the county board, when I served on it, we had a jail that was out housing more prisoners than we actually had in-house. And we turned that around, and we now turn that into a profit, because we're housing a lot of Wexford County's prisoners around as well. That's just a couple to name of many.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Briscoe?
Ordinarily, I would go with United States Marine Corps. I was in that for 4 years, and I'm very proud of that. But in the middle of that, my wife and I became foster parents, and we adopted a little girl, Persephone. And when we got her at 1 year old, we didn't know if she would ever be able to get out of bed even. She was very close to a vegetative state. But today, she is getting around in a wheelchair. She's learning how to crawl. She's 6 years old now. We've got her an iPad so she can finally talk to us through electronic means. She's being able to live life. And that's very important to me. We spent 5 very long, hard years working with her to get her to this point, and we're going to be spending many more so that she can experience the rest of it. And it's one of the main reasons why I am such a proponent of being pro-life, because these children deserve a chance and they bring a lot of joy to your life.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Hoytinga?
Well, besides my sons being absolutely wonderful adult men, I really enjoy working with the youth. It's been a passion of mine for a long time. And this may sound silly, but before I became mayor, I watched these kids skateboarding down the middle of our roads in Manton. And they were constantly getting in trouble and getting pulled over by the police and talked to. And I went to the kids and I said to them, if I help you guys get at skate park equipment, will you stay off the roads and quit getting in trouble and quit skipping school? So I would say there was probably, I don't know, my parents went through this with me, there was probably maybe 15 kids, and they were juvenile delinquents, most of them, and we built a skate park. And I took them around to different organizations, and I taught them how to ask for money from the Rotary, from the Chambers, and we built that skate park. We had the prisoners come down from Pugsley and helped us build it, and we did it as a community, and I did it through grants. And I'm pretty proud of that. We worked with the kids, and I'm pretty proud of that.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Hoytinga. That concludes our series of 8 questions, and now it's time to give each candidate an opportunity for closing remarks. Continuing our rotational order means that Mr. Langworthy, you have the first opportunity. Your final thoughts this evening.
Thank you. Thank you for having this forum, Jay. I want to thank My News 26 and 107.9 CDY for sponsoring this. Actually, for the GOP for Wexford, Osceola, and Mecosta County sponsoring this. Without their support, we wouldn't have this forum this evening. You can find out most everything you want by going to my website, morrisfor102.com. You can find me on Facebook and all of the other social media. But the best way to find out as much as you want about me is to call my cell number or my home phone. They're listed on all of that. You know, along with transparency and accountability, we need accessibility. We need to be able to contact your state representative at a moment's notice. I want to be your state representative. Consider me when voting on August 2nd. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Briscoe, your final thoughts.
I've spent a bit of time up here knocking both the federal and state government. And the reason for that is because I really do believe in Michigan. I want to make Michigan the best state to raise a family in. We already have the best people. That's why I live here. We need better jobs, a stable job economy. We need to improve our education. And we need to make sure that our rights are protected and that we are the shining example for the rest of the country as it's struggling to figure out where we're going next. Michigan can do that. And I want to be there to advocate for those things. I cannot stress this enough. We need people who are willing to stand up and advocate for your values. Not just vote yes or no. Representation is a lot more than a vote. It's advocating for what you believe in. It's fighting for your principles, it's fighting for your rights, and we need people who are willing to do that and are unashamed of how you feel. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Hoytinga, your final thoughts?
The idea that I'm running to be a politician almost makes me cringe because we feel the change in the air at a federal level, at a state level. People are tired of politicians. They're tired of people making decisions for them. And I feel the same way. I want to be a new voice and a new direction for this district. I think we need a new energy, and I believe I am that energy. I will work on behalf of the people, on behalf of my fellow business owners, on behalf of my fellow commissions, through the townships, through the cities, through the counties. I know what needs to get done. I have specific, there's issues that need specific answers, and I can go and fix this. And I hope you elect me August 2nd, and I want to represent you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Hook, your final thoughts.
Since the age of 25 as a staff sergeant in the United States Air Force, I have held leadership positions. I have always been in position to make the tough decision, whether as a psychologist, a school principal, a director, or a superintendent. That career has given me a wide range of experiences and that I wish to bring to this office. I have never run for office. I have never held office. I've always worked with my family and my own job. Going to Lansing, there are 110 state representatives. We would have one voice. But the thing that we have to do is work with 4 or 5 or 6 or 8, 10 others and make that a voting block. Most bills are passed with 3 or 4 or 5 votes. And the person that goes to Lansing, and I believe I'm that person who has worked with staffs and others my entire career, is to work to convince them to hold steady, to take a position, and be a strong vote. So I ask everyone for their vote on August 2nd.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you. Thank you, and with that, we have wrapped up tonight's 102nd District Republican debate. We want to offer our sincere thanks to the Wexford, Osceola, and Mecosta County Republican parties for their sponsorship of this evening's event. We also like to thank our auditorium audience for their attendance and participation. It's been a fantastic audience tonight. And of course, thank you to our candidates for taking the time to come here and express their views and allow you to get to know them a little more. Jason Briscoe, Michelle Hoytinga, Ormond Hook, and Morris Langworthy Jr. Thank you to all of you.
Thank you, Jay.
Finally, we want to thank you, the viewers and listeners on My News 26 and 107.9 CDY. We hope this has been an informative event and encourage you to go out and exercise your right to vote in the primaries on August 2nd. Thank you, and good night. Good job.